Welcome to the Record Night Podcast. I'm Collin, joined by Jake, Joe, and Kyle. Record Night is a podcast where we listen to vinyl records in their entirety and then attempt to have a discussion about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoy.
Every one of my records means something. The label, the producer, the year it was made.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
All right, Jake, so Tom Morello, the Nightwatchman.
Well, he's probably one of my favorite artists ever as a solo. Not only in Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello, of course, but as a solo artist. He's probably overall my favorite musician, period, like of any that I can think of. He's, in my opinion, he's one of the better. It's really, I don't know, it's hard to explain him. He's got a real old school sound to him and a lot of Western elements to his folk music, which I also like. Like Joe, I know you like, slides on guitars, and that kind of sound. There's a lot of this on that record and his previous record. This is his second one, The Fabled City. His first one, it's hard to. This one I think I like more musically. The first one, lyrically, I think is a lot better, but this one's also very good. And I guess if I could sum up Tom Morello as a solo artist in one way, it's not so much that he's like the best player or the best lyricist, but he's really good at creating moods with his guitar and his voice. I think that's his strength, is creating moods with his music, and you'll hear that right away in some of the songs we listen to. Even the first song that'll be apparent.
Do you think that's unique to him or more of just a folk thing in general, trying to create a mood?
Well, I don't know, because a lot of old folk music was just, I think of like Woody Guthrie, and he wasn't, I don't know that he was creating a mood, because almost everything was happy. He could be talking about the copper boss is killing someone, or like his, what did he say, this land is my land?
The
like,
copper boss.
That song was like about...
Communism?
No.
It sounds like it. That's what it's about. I don't know.
This land is our land would sound more like communism.
How's the lyric go? Like, I saw one day when I was walking, I saw a sign that said no trespassing, but on the other side, it didn't say nothing. This land was made for... There's a whole separate, group of lyrics that go to that song. That's a...
You didn't know about that lyric? About
that's
the
a political
trespassing?
song.
No.
That is a political song.
Yeah.
That's Woody Guthrie.
I know it is
Nice.
because Bruce would play it, and he's a big Woody Guthrie fan.
right.
And,
He is.
But
so I get it. But
that song is folk, but it didn't really. There was not a mood created. It was almost like almost a humor element to it, like singing about that subject matter and that kind of thing. This is much different. So I think that's kind of what makes him unique in the field.
how did it start with you with Tom? Just Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah, it was Rage Against the Machine. Oh, pardon me.
Rude.
How professional.
Always professional. Yeah, it started with Rage Against the Machine, and probably like 2012, 2013, I was just kind of in my deep dive as far as music was concerned. That's what took up most of my time, and it was just a branch off from, that's how I learned everything I know, which is kind of crazy. All my music is like a branch off from like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4.
That's the influence.
And I branched off from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
when you
somehow
can,
I'm here.
Very influential game.
I'll tell you what.
It was.
Just goes to show you how well curated that fucking playlist was.
Mm-hmm.
But
The Tony Hawk playlist. You're
yes,
saying.
All of them. Yeah.
All of them were great.
I was thinking about that today. Like most of the early, like I was trying to think of like what's the first music that I listened to. Like I had the Real Slim Shady on cassette tape, but like, and I could think of like a few other random ones. But other than that, it was really just like professional wrestling theme music. That was most of the music I listened to. Like those are the CDs I had were those. You know what I mean?
The anthologies and stuff like that. Yeah.
I have to say, Colin, I was much more well-rounded as a child. I had Eiffel 65, Baha Men, and The Offspring. And if you're not aware, Baha Men is Who Let the Dogs Out on cassette. And I would hold the fast forward button down partially to make him sing real fast, and loved it.
That's wonderful. I remember Baha Men, watching those music videos.
Everybody's aware that they did Who Let the Dogs Out, by the way.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, well, fuck me then.
I don't think they have any of their songs. I think that was it. That's the only one they ever come out with.
I had their cassette. They did have other songs. Not that I can remember.
I was going to say,
yeah, they weren't memorable, but they had other songs.
You bought it only for that one song.
Why lie? I cannot tell a lie.
Your parents yelling upstairs, Jake, for the 15th time, turn that shit off.
Play another song.
Play another song.
They don't have another song.
This is it.
It was two sides.
Side
of
A
that
and side
song.
B, one song. Who Let the Dogs Out? And Who Let the Dogs Out remix with 2 extra verses.
The bonus track.
Yeah.
Someone let the dogs in.
Who let the dogs in?
All right, so when did Tom Morello start touring with Bruce? Do we know? Because you suggested he might have been touring with them at the time.
I want to say probably like 2006, because it would be after he released his first record. I think between his first and second record, he toured with. I think how it went was, I could be completely wrong, but for some reason it's just that's what's in my head. I think he made his first record, then he toured with Bruce, and he was in a couple songs, and what was it like?
The Ghost of Tom Joad.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that
what record? Even his record, not High Hopes, Wrecking Ball. He was in a few songs in Wrecking Ball. Then I think he made this, and then he was in High Hopes a lot, like ton of Tom Morello in High Hopes. Most of the guitar solos, in fact.
Right.
Tom Morello.
Some singing.
Was he in a few songs on Wrecking Ball?
He was.
I don't know.
He was definitely
on guitar.
I'm a huge fan of that record. I didn't know that, so that's kind of cool. We're gonna get to the bottom of this right now.
Yeah, let's look up some dates. Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus song.
Yeah, I should have known that I was gonna pull that up.
Wrong song.
It's Wrecking Ball's also an Emmylou Harris album.
Oh, who?
Emmylou Harris?
I don't know who that is.
I don't really know either, other than the fact that she did a duet with Mark Knopfler.
Okay.
All the road running or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All right, so we want Bruce Springsteen. Wow, the 17th. Wrecking Ball is the 17th studio album by
Best
Bruce
album
Springsteen.
of 2012.
It's really one of my favorites.
It's so good.
That's one that I'm actually I actually remember it coming out and like being excited about it. So
So I'm wrong. That just proves me wrong. So this was 2008, and this is his second record. So he must have done 2 solo albums before Bruce kind of picked him up. So, which makes sense because that's what he would have been doing. He kind of had a long hiatus before he released. God, what's his third album? He has a third Nightwatchman album. Fuck, it's not Uniontown. That's his EP.
Uniontown.
Well, on a side note, I got to get Wrecking Ball. This is a great record.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother and I were just talking about.
Speaking of unions, the union has dropped 10% since 1980. Union membership.
In membership?
Yep.
Yeah, I just feel like...
Which I think it makes it now about 10% of the workforce is union.
I just feel like over time there's going to be less and less of a need for union. Because it was originally for, the Irish and the, just to get an equal, say.
Equal potato.
But now everything's so corporate.
Kyle, raise your mic just a little bit so it's in front of your face. Wait. So
Is that better?
yeah, very much so. So just unions in general
Yes.
are down 10? Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But there's still big unions out, like the teachers' unions and automotive is a lot of that's union.
Yeah.
And, any type of manufacturing or anything that's a lot of unions.
That's where they're losing them in
Yeah,
manufacturing.
exactly.
That's true.
There's no union where I work. GE just lost their union.
Really?
There's not going to be a need a union for robots.
Or
Eventually.
didn't lose their union there, but
I don't know.
They might.
Yeah.
that's
I
actually
think-
not true. They didn't lose the union, but the unions are becoming less powerful for sure. Gave up a lot of benefits and had to sacrifice a lot of.
I think a couple of years ago they made it much easier for unions to get started by lowering the.
Well, it's illegal to fucking illegal in Ohio to have a union or to go on strike rather. You're not allowed to go on strike. It's fucking against the law.
You're not allowed.
They'll just fire you. Say bye.
Well, it's a right to work state, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, your choice. you're not at work, then you're breaking the rules.
Right.
We're going to fire you.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
We had to watch I don't know if you did, Joe, an anti-union video when you worked at Target.
Target?
Jake,
Yeah.
you too, probably, right?
The union gets in the way of the relationship between the work leader and the employee, and are like shaking their heads,
Yeah.
or arguing.
The guy asks, he's like, "Hey man, can you help me with some of these boxes?" And the guy's, I'm sorry, Bill, but thanks to the new union contract, I'm forbidden, like whatever.
There was a guy when we watched. I don't know if you were there. We watched that video, and the guy turns around and goes, "This video is a bunch of bullshit." That's what he said.
Oh, like somebody in the orientation
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Tom? Well, let's talk about this record for a minute. It's 2008.
Mm-hmm.
The label is Epic or Red Ink Records. I assume all songs are written by Tom Morello. I didn't have any liner notes, and I couldn't find otherwise.
Yes.
Than anybody.
Well, there's liner notes in the. I mean, we can take a look at them in the sleeve there.
I would assume.
Yeah, he
Folk
wrote.
record, yeah.
Yes.
It was produced by Brendan O'Brien.
I don't know if it's just lyrics on there or.
Yeah, so maybe, but probably on the flip side. So hold on. So you what's the other record you're talking about that you think is better lyrically? That costs like $100?
It's called One Man Revolution.
So what about? Have you had this record for a long time? Or did you?
I just purchased this one.
How'd you get your hands on this one?
This was just Amazon. This one's like readily available. It was I think it was a re-release actually, but for whatever reason, I cannot find that record. Like that record is like highly sought after, or there's not a lot of them out there because they're all like $80 to $100 that are in decent shape.
So interesting. So first of all the songs were written by Tom Morello. There's one co-write, Whatever It Takes.
Okay.
It's written by Tom Morello and Anne Previn.
Also, a side note, Serge Tankian is featured in this record.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to get to. So Serge Tankian does additional vocals on Lazarus On Down. And then, I don't know if you guys know this gentleman, but Shooter Jennings is additional vocals on The Iron Wheel. So that's, who is that? Waylon Jennings.
Yep.
This kid, right?
His son, yep.
All right, we ready to start this fucking thing?
Start it up.
I've seen the fabled city. Its streets are paved with gold, but an iron fence runs round it. Its iron gate is closed.
Is that a cowbell?
It is indeed.
Sounds like.
That's something sure to hit you. Pure flesh and bone to rip through. Don't let 'em tie you to the stake. Whatever it takes, flood waters, raise the ramparts. I'll meet you now, wherever you are. I'm here until the front line breaks. Whatever it takes.
Like the mandolin little. Yeah, that was sweet.
The devil is not the king of hell. The devil is not the king of hell. A violent dance on slippery stones. The line's gone dead, we're all alone. The devil is not the king of hell.
Nice.
Night falls on the river valley. Night falls on the mines and fields. Night falls on the just and unjust. Night falls.
It's my favorite song on the album.
And the lights are on in Spidertown.
I'm writing down right now.
Would you call that a flamenco guitar? What makes it a flamenco? I don't know. That's what I wrote down.
I think it's like a ukulele actually, or something like that.
The mandolin or ukulele.
It's
Whatever.
probably a
Yeah,
mandolin,
yeah.
Well, there's a mandolin in that one, but there was also a really wicked nylon string guitar solo. It sounded like.
Okay, yeah.
The nylon string. Okay.
The one song, I don't know what it was. I think the second one. Hold on here. I know I put a note in somewhere. My mighty pen. Yeah, the mandolin and whatever it takes.
Oh yeah.
That was sweet. Just how fast he was picking it. I mean, I guess that's something that lends to it, but it's very cool.
Yeah, so let's see here.
A lot of the stuff like I have to research too, because he's talking about something specific in a lot of his songs,
Yeah, he's
and
very,
I don't
he's
know
very
what it is.
cryptic.
Yeah.
Especially that
Yeah.
last song. I have no idea what that last song meant.
I had
know
no
it's
idea either.
got some type of meaning.
That's at least for the songs that were like our narrative driven. That's like I taught like the deer tick clowning around. Like I had no idea what fuck. He lets this guest rest in the crawl space. Oh, like then you research and you find out what it's about. So that's probably the same thing at least with the one song about the Steve Sutton and the
Oh,
whole,
Nightfalls.
like,
That's
the-
just about unionizing and protesting, and
yeah.
they came in the morning, shoulder to shoulder, end to end. You don't have to speak, you just have to stand. It's like
Yeah.
that's all people do is talk, especially nowadays on the
Oh.
internet. You know what I mean?
But like to show force and
But to actually show up and
yeah,
Yeah, what did I?
numbers.
It's
what
more
did I
meaningful.
write for that.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder.
right.
You don't have
Yes.
to speak. You have to stand. That song reminded me. That was Nightfalls, the Steve Sutton song.
Yep.
That reminded me of Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen. Not really like the sound, but just like he's telling a story about there's trouble in the next town over. Kind of, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I
right.
met a guy. I'm gonna do a favor for him. That sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that song was the most like indie sounding song.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rest of the record was more like folk
Yeah.
kind of sounding, which I liked it. I thought it was a good.
I like the strings too in that song. There's a lot of strings.
Nightfall. Okay,
I thought
yeah,
it was
yeah.
the best song like musically.
Yeah,
thought
I
it was
agree.
The best song.
I agree.
So, who do you guys think is the king of hell?
That's what I wrote
Humans.
down too. I don't know.
Humans.
Humans?
Are. If you think of if you look at King of Hell, that's I kind of pondered this song for a little bit.
Okay.
Like if you say like he as his ministers conversed, I peeked out from behind the well, and oh how I was surprised to learn the devil's not the king of hell. So like that's like your first obvious one is like obviously he's overhearing something these ministers are talking about, and he learns that like the ministers are people who would warn you against someone like the devil, when in reality he peeks out from behind the well, which I don't know if that has any symbology of a well. I don't know if he peeks out and they're the ones up to something, ministers. You know what I mean? And
Scheming about.
And then again, here we go. We say, smelling victory, the engine hums. Off in the distance, they beat the drums. To me, that's like so people are distracted. So smelling victory, the engine hums, like NASCAR. All these people are, America, NASCAR. This is like to me gives a 2000 like War on Terror vibe, like everything was real America, Western style, let NASCAR. He's just giving like and then off in the distance they beat the drums, and to me that's war drums. So they're all distracted,
So they're
with a race.
distracted by other stuff, but
in
in a
reality-
foreign land and somewhere there's actually like a war going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then amidst the blood and rubble, I look for souvenirs to sell. And oh, I'm surprised to learn the devil's not the king of hell. Like he's just seen all this.
Like, so much violence just occurred, yet you're looking how to make a profit from it. Like, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
When I heard the engine hums, smelling good, I thought like the war engine or like the metaphor of.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the same. Yeah,
Like
that's
the
true.
machine, like
Yeah.
Yep.
Or yeah, it all seems very relevant. Like humans in general, like maybe the negative emotions from human, like scheming or fear. Like tonight I'm gonna do some things I've never done before, and I'm gonna find out what the screaming's got behind the door, or the lion's gone dead. I took that as like
Yeah, I thought that
I
was a
need
good
help,
line.
and I'm alone. I am 100% alone.
I
Yeah.
thought my thought was we talk about like I think people talk about like a phone line to God, and I think the line's gone dead is like people's line to God. Like
Sure.
that's that God and devil aspect to the song. So when he
That's
says
an interesting way to look at it.
yeah,
Yeah. A violent dance on slippery stones. That's just good writing. I
Yeah.
like that. It's,
Yeah.
a violent dance.
Well, and slippery stones certainly are the devil.
Yeah.
You ever try to walk up like
You ever try to do a
like
punky
moss?
rock party
Like,
on
try to
slippery
walk on
stones?
moss?
go to the Cleveland Metro Parks or the
Yeah.
Rock River Reservation and walk up those fucking wood stairs after a rain?
Oh yeah, good luck.
Death
Fall all the way down.
to hell.
Any other thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, the Fabled City,
Oh yeah,
the first song.
that was his most moody song, the title track.
Yeah. See, I'm not a fan of his moody, like deep voice. But
Okay.
there's other songs
Well-
where he's more like in a higher
Yeah.
range, which I don't mind. But that one, voice wise, was like my least favorite because he's so like down and he draws out like all the words and like he's just like I don't know.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy that.
It kind of
It,
bothers.
Yeah.
it creates a mood of like despair.
Yeah.
Or something
Does.
like that, in my opinion.
Which is what you talked about, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more of that on the B side. I could be wrong.
Yeah, there
listen
is.
to it a
Creates
lot,
an
but-
interesting tone to the.
Get ready, Joe, because you didn't like
Yeah,
Fabled
here
City.
you go, buddy.
Side, the
But
first
the other,
track on
but the
side
other
B.
four, I didn't were fine. So
So far,
just
I'm
that
going
first
to download every one of these songs that I've listened to tonight and listen to them again when I'm doing other things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And I'd
good.
suggest listening to One Man Revolution as well if you like these songs because lyrically it's much more. I think the Fabled City reminds me of something off One Man Revolution.
Oh, okay. Totally. Then.
There were a couple of interesting lyrics in the Fabled City. So the one, I'm always intrigued by the idea of like fallen angels and that kind of thing. And so he meets this angel who's hiding from God and doesn't want her parents to see her, like that
Yeah.
whole
Yep.
thing. I don't know what to make of that beyond, but that
Well, he's just.
was interesting to me.
I think he just like it's what do you call it? Like a pathos thing, just kind of draw emotion out of a situation. Like the whole thing's about people being locked out of.
The Iron Gate is closed.
Right. I've seen the Fabled City, and it's so this awesome life really does exist, but you're never like it's closed. Like it's the system's made to close people off, and she's his example of someone. I guess society will call it the Fabled City.
That was
the
a metaphor
perfect.
for a hooker.
It could be.
Well,
That's
no,
kinda what
honestly, she doesn't want her parents to see her.
Right.
She sang a song that sounded more like a prayer.
Sang it for $1, hanging out in the alley.
when he says at the gas station on Sunset and Crescent, is he talking about like L.A.?
I think so. Sunset Boulevard.
That also helps that hooker thing. It's
With
a
the
shady.
homeless and,
yeah.
'cause,
I think
like,
we've all seen that hooker down there.
Yeah.
No, I like the lyrics at the end of that song.
Yeah, on a water outside my window there sit 100 swallows, and I suspect that
What
if
is he
one
trying to
flew,
say
99
with
would
that
follow.
with that line?
With the 100 swallows.
That
and
we're
the
just
99
kind of like stuck in this like the system kind of ideology. Like I said, like they're just gonna follow the leader and the system
Kinda
set,
like
or
sheep. The idea of
yeah,
sheep.
yeah.
But maybe he just wanted to say swallow in a song.
I was gonna say he should have just gone with sheep if he meant sheep.
Yeah, but have you ever seen 100 sheep sitting on a wire outside your window, Collin?
Well, again, change the scenery. They're
One
in
time
a
when
field or
I was
something.
doing-
I don't know.
Oh, okay, we could go that route too. You were such a lyricist.
Yeah, I took that as just a followers
Yeah.
kind of thing. Although maybe he's just literally talking about swallows. Who knows?
No, I didn't know if it was. That's what I figured. I figured either it was like a call to action or
Yeah.
You ever guys
or I
ever
mean I guess that includes that.
Yeah.
You guys ever been driving down the road and saw like a flock of swallows look like an amorphic
Like a
blob?
ball, yeah.
Yes. So maybe he really is just talking about swallows because I'm going to tell you right now, I could talk about swallows like that. I'd fit swallows into a song.
The next song was Whatever It Takes, and there was cowbell in it. My thought was,
Certainly was
as opposed to needs more cowbell, I thought that's got enough cowbell.
Yeah, it had plenty. It was fine.
It's adequate amount of
Good
cowbell.
amount of
Well,
cowbell.
once you brought up the cowbell, Joe, I only heard cowbell.
He goes to angels again. The angels have come too late.
I don't know what he's talking about in this song. I'll be honest. I think it was the weakest song on the. I don't know if it's because I just understand. Not weakest. I don't know. Like I don't know what he's the most cryptic. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like is it just like? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't really know either. I mean, I'd have to go into it again, but storm clouds won't bother to gather. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of that, but that's why my comment after every song was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
the storm clouds are indifferent about a situation.
What are ramparts?
I always thought that
The
was
walls, like you're on top of the castle walls, the ramparts.
like. Oh. Okay. Because the only song I know that in is was that national anthem Ramparts.
Oh, that's I
From the
couldn't
ramparts
think
you
of.
watch.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of what I'm like. I've heard ramparts. What
Yeah.
what are
I was thinking the
ramparts?
same thing. I'm like, what does that mean? That's good.
But it's
I
like
never
on
knew
the
that.
edge of looking out over something. Like in this that case, like the castle walls. Like you know how you can walk on the castle walls.
Yes.
The ramparts.
Okay.
I wish I understood his message. That's something sure to hit you, pure flesh and bone to rip through. Don't let him tie you to the stake.
Do you feel like he was talking about like war in that song?
Well,
A general without an army.
That sounds like you're tied to the stake for a firing squad.
Oh.
So whatever it takes. She cut. She cashed
cashed
in to cut the tether. She's gone. It's no mistake. So yeah, I don't know. The angels didn't show up. So fuck it, man. You got to do what you got to do. I guess I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, she's still behind that grocery store on Sunset Boulevard.
What's the red room?
Oh, that's okay. That's still back in.
Yeah. What's you know what a red room is?
For developing pictures.
Climb backwards through the red room.
I don't know if a red room isn't that called like
I don't know
a
if it's
dark
called
room?
a red room. I
But
just.
that's called dark room, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Is red room? I feel as though red room is a.
No, I think you're right. Climb backward. It's like a production.
Google is going to tell us.
Okay. In the meantime, he uses an old songwriting trick, Jack.
Oh yeah.
Talking about a guy named Jack. I get. Well, Joe, you would know. Joe's a common one too, I guess. Like Joes get put into songs.
Oh yeah, Joe's in a lot of songs. Like,
Sleepy Joe's Cafe.
Yeah.
Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix.
Yep. There you go.
Sleepy Joe's Cafe.
There's another Bruce Springsteen song where he talks about Joe. It's something about a handsome Joe.
Oh, he's a good-looking Joe.
Yeah, good looking Joe. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so
Tougher than the rest.
Yeah.
you know when you Google something and you're like, man, I wish I didn't Google that on my phone.
Wait a minute.
What happened? What is it?
What do you find?
So let's have a little perspective. In theory, a red room is a site where a victim gets tortured and murdered on live stream video. It's important to make this distinction. If a person wants to participate in this, they need to shell out extravagant amounts of Bitcoin. Click here.
Whoa.
Like, no thank you, Google. Yeah.
That certainly qualifies for.
And so a lot of what I'm seeing is it's generally about like
Torture.
a site where somebody's tortured. The red room for those novitiates to the cult of 50 Shades of Grey is the room where moody millionaire Christian Grey indulges his appetite for less mainstream boudoir behavior. That sounds like a really
I'm so happy
long way to say like
those movies anymore.
jerks into weird stuff. I don't know.
That could be the worst. What was it? A trilogy of all time, like for just movies.
Wait,
Well,
what?
50 Shades of Grey.
I didn't
Just
understand.
the whole thing is like the worst trilogy of all time. For
And
movies.
people complain about, I don't fucking know.
The acting is horrible. Everything is horrible.
A woman having a line that I don't know.
Yeah, it's bad.
But yet there's that.
It's very laughable how bad it is.
It is. It's a little satirical, isn't it? Hey, so guys, I inadvertently have a token of our friendship here. I didn't realize this was in my pocket, and I felt something in my pocket. And I'm like, oh my god! And there's 4, and it's a Kit Kat. You got to give breaks. So does everyone?
This is a perfect time for a Kit Kat break.
this is
What a
perfect
coincidence.
Side A and B.
Yeah. What a coincidence. They're a sponsor on tonight's podcast.
Yeah. Sponsor tonight is Kit Kat.
Nice.
Give me a break. God, and how is it a big Kit Kat? What on earth? Guys, the stars have aligned tonight.
So for the second week in a row, Diabetic Jake has been offered.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to kill Jake 1 week at a time.
Thank you.
Time for a Kit Kat break, Jake.
Oh damn! Break me off a piece.
Don't worry, Jake. It's no sugar added. Haha, just kidding.
Yeah. I'll start like having a seizure.
Got you, fucker.
Oh, Kit Kats.
Okay, so after whatever it takes, the King of Hell, Night Falls, The lights are on in Spidertown. What the hell's going on there?
I have no idea.
No
I
clue,
could-
friend.
yeah,
I like
that
the
was-
solo.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right.
I like
We
the.
see stormtroopers. That's Nazi reference.
be any.
Aren't they from Star Wars?
Yes. Stormtroopers are from Star Wars.
That's what I thought. Mayday. May the 4th be with you.
What are you trying to say? You know the white guy?
I know the white guys.
Okay. Sometimes there are other colors too, but.
I took Stormtrooper as just like the archetype of.
Oh yeah, that's
like
parachuting. Yeah, yeah.
Just like
I
the
know.
authoritarian. You don't blank face, Joe. Everybody.
Right.
No offense, Joe.
That's all right.
It's just you're an automaton that's designed or bred to kill.
That's why they
other
call me
things.
Joe.
Follow orders. That's why they call me Joe.
I love the looks like 10 fat pigs at a 9 pig trough.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
There's not enough.
Oh, they're just like. Oh, okay. It's like
Fat.
Oh, what's the other? I'll think of it.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah.
another
There's
term
comparable.
about-
Yeah. This featured the hey 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 goodbye kind of. Hey 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 good. Like they were just going la 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 or something like that, but it was.
Are you saying
It
that
sounded
stole
like
it
that.
from?
It's like a melody.
From
Well, I don't know. I'm not. That was not my intention, but it definitely sounded just like that.
who was it? The Temptations? Who sang that song?
No, not
Queen?
not Gary Glitter, but I don't know. It's in that realm of songs.
Wasn't
I don't
Gary
know.
a Glitter a troll?
No, Gary Glitter did the da-na-na-na-na-na-na, hey da-na-na-na. So they're both like stadium type of songs. Which is why I think of them. But that was also one that had the mandolin, the crazy mandolin at the end of the song. So that was
Yeah.
a fun one. Okay, really excited for the B-side because this has Midnight in the City of Destruction to start off, which is the well, we're gonna get Tom Morello's moody vocal in this song. So, did you have anything else on this side, Jake? Are you
we're good.
researching anything relevant? Or
I did look up stormtroopers, and that was what I thought it was. It was.
They're from Star Wars.
They're from Nazi Germany
Ah,
as
okay,
well.
okay.
It doesn't matter. I still don't understand the. In either context, I don't understand the line, but
pretty sure this is
the Sturmwerferberg. That's the paramilitary unit. This is it. This is it, Joe. This is your favorite song. The lyrics. Just try to appreciate the lyrics, my friend
That's
Joe.
what I'm trying to do.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And it's midnight in the city of destruction. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Okay.
God make her road true. Say Isabelle is coming through. Lazarus on down. Lazarus on down. Come on, let's push on through. Now, let's go around. Lazarus on down. Gone like whispers, gone like rain, gone like the faithful while the faithful useless remain. Gone like the stone, the builder refused. Gone and overdue. Gone and overdue. The iron wheel slowly spins around. It takes you from the cradle till you're 6 feet underground. You can push and pull against it, but you don't ride it till it's through. And those who spin the wheel, well, those fuckers ride it too.
I think that was my favorite one so far.
Yep. Not the perfect one for Joe. It's probably even worse than the last one.
It is the moodiest.
AKA better than the last one.
Oh, man.
Kept losing track. I wrote 100 letters, no one wrote back.
Oh. So sad.
I told
Can understand his mood.
stories. You gotta rise to power. Rise to power. Baby, you gotta rise to power. You gotta rise to power.
That's it.
That was a powerful song.
It was. I actually like that one. I know Joe probably didn't, but
I did, and I enjoyed
Not
it.
really.
that one was interesting because based on like if I would have just read the lyrics without hearing it, I would have guessed it would have sounded totally different.
Yeah.
It was very like I thought it was an interesting use of the phrase "rise to power." You know what I mean? It was almost like a sad. I don't know.
Like you have to use maybe the fact that
Like you think of like a dictator or something, but that's not
Yeah.
really what he's talking about.
he's talking about, like, I don't know, the unfortunate means by which you have to maneuver the world, maybe, to actually make change. I don't know.
Right. That's how I took it.
Rise up. Rise to the occasion.
So the vocal, like when he does it like that, is very intentional, but it like almost sounds like he just woke up.
Yeah. It reminds me of like he should be like in a Tim Burton movie, like The Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that. Like
Sure.
I agree.
it's just too to me. It's too like cartoony.
But it was intentional. I mean, his voice is almost like breaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought it fit in the last song. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I didn't get the same feeling so much in Midnight in the City of Destruction, but it's definitely on purpose.
Well, you guys were like laughing the whole time. You know what that song's about? I mean, the lyrics are pretty obvious. It's about Katrina.
okay.
Yeah.
A man-made
Yeah, there was the one lyric
catastrophe.
in there.
No, I mean, I knew it. I was laughing because it was so obviously about Katrina. It's like
Yeah.
everybody just talked about these fucking levees. In
Yeah.
the song. Like, God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was, that was Midnight of Destruction. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say? I pray that God Himself will come down and drown the president.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just like.
Yeah.
Bush hates black people. Like,
Oh.
that was-
It got it got overtly political. Like at that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yes. Well, he's an overtly political
he
person.
is,
He's
yes,
like a
yes,
self-proclaimed
true,
like
true.
the world is not leftist enough. Like that's his. He's
Yeah, he's a pretty crazy guy.
we need more
you know?
left turns. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought Saint Isabelle's lyrics, like the
I love
lady
that song.
was
Yeah, that was a good song. I like that song a lot too.
that was almost cartoony. I mean, it just accentuated.
Yeah.
What song from Wrecking Ball does that remind you of? There was a song from Wrecking Ball that song reminds me of.
Okay, well, I wrote down several times throughout this record that it reminded me of Bruce.
Yes.
It's very, he's got
Couple, like two
yeah.
songs. That one, and there was another song that did. Just from that album, that Wrecking Ball album that he was on, right?
Yep. Yeah, because Wrecking Ball had kind of like, it was folky, kind of Irish
Yes.
sound to it, which this had a lot of too.
That's what I wrote. Irish folk.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can't remember. I can't There's a song on there, but I just can't
So
remember what it was.
go to Midnight in the City of Destruction for a minute. What's going on with this this secret prison, the secret prisoner?
Oh, he's commenting on Bush's use of torture.
Oh,
Guantanamo
okay.
Bay.
Okay.
Well, just terrorists, like torturing terrorists, but like I think he's questioning how effective torture is, because he's like, the prisoners, like, imagine binded, burned, blinded, and beaten, and yet this secret prisoner somehow keeps his secret well. Like, I don't think any human being has the fortitude to, unless you're genuinely insane, like chemically insane, to like withstand being like drowned and burned and bound, and then they still act like you're hiding something. Like, all those people spilled their guts. You were being burned. You were being burned.
Well, let's talk about the drug use of the torturers too. Like, how can you physically do some of that stuff?
Well, sure.
Well, that's
mentally do some of that stuff.
Well, that's
and then
the
he
thing.
says, "Turn out the lights. That's enough, son. Until tomorrow." Like, it's more of a sickness than an actual use to get information out of people.
But the whole thing is secret, right? The secret.
Yeah,
It's a secret prison, secret cell.
So they don't want people to know they're doing it. 'Cause
Right.
they fucking know it's wrong.
Yeah, I wrote down the lyric from Collin, but for now I keep my secrets with the night. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda, yeah, Saint Isabelle was really good. The chorus like had the harmonica. It was like really kind of a chaotic.
Yeah.
And so then when they would return to like the verses, I really liked the transition.
I don't know if I enjoyed Saint Isabelle that much.
Really?
Yeah, I think that might be my least favorite on the album.
Could you concisely say why?
The tone, the speed.
Oh yeah, you said it was cartoony. You
Yeah,
thought
yeah. I felt that was. No, I don't. It was good. It just was my least favorite on the album. Lazarus On Down might be my favorite on the album. I thought that was great.
That was one with Surge in it, right?
Yeah.
For a little bit, I thought I could have used some more Surge in that song, like in the choruses. Like I could have used him just in the
louder, maybe
just in the background, still like how he was, but just more of it.
It was nice. It went good. Like there were strings on this song too.
Yeah.
His vocal goes nice with that. I mean, that's the whole album he did. You know,
Right.
He just goes good with that sound.
I thought it was a good story.
Yeah, there's a lot of references, and this is another one I got
a lot of biblical references.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Well, we all know Judas.
I don't know who
Caiaphas was. He was like
He was one of the judges that conspired to
like kill Jesus.
It was like Pontius Pilate, Caiaphas,
yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Apatus.
All
or
I know
something
is
like that.
the Pontius Pilate guy.
Yeah.
And then what? The crow on the window pane. That's death, right?
A one-eyed crow.
A one-eyed crow.
Ah.
So, I think he's commenting on the lack of depth perception, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I thought he was.
Well, like
I'm
no,
totally
that's actual like lack of perception though isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like death comes and you see like they killed Jesus, but they didn't know who he
sure.
like really was, right? So that's it's
this album went together. There were a lot of recurring themes. It went together really well. Like even though I can't figure out what every song was talking about. It all went together. There was a lot of like recurring lyrics, recurring themes. Like
the devil was one that was recurring.
Yeah. The faithful are gone. The
Right.
faithless
Yeah, just
remain.
faith
That
in
was,
general,
yeah.
religion,
Yeah.
God.
he does a lot
God,
of religious
devil,
a ton
all
of
that kind of stuff. Angels,
allegory.
fallen angels.
Good versus
Yep.
bad.
Yeah, a lot of.
I like "Gone Like
Meta.
Rain," the next song on the album.
He uses
a lot.
the word or like a reoccurring theme I see a lot of is the.
You son of a bitch.
The word the.
Jake, you could talk about it if you have more, but at the end of Gone Like Rain, he hears the devil come in footsteps on the path, so he chews off his own leg to get out of the trap. So I wrote Whatever It Takes.
Right.
That was an earlier song on it. And also, I just told Kyle recently about a mouse trap we had at work, one of those sticky traps, who we...
Oh, they do!
All
They
we
will!
saw was
Oh
its
my God,
foot.
it's-
It shoot its foot off to get out of there, so...
It's true.
Yeah,
Well,
that
and then the
was-
other thing, "Gone Like Whispers," "Gone Like Rain," like these people who have to do that to get by essentially. Like they're not. It's not publicized. Like it's like the underbelly. You know what I mean? And I think too. I think like the first one. Like was he talking about the multitude set as the cattle cars pulled along the rusty tracks? What is he talking about there?
The Holocaust?
Is that what it is?
Somebody
yeah.
says, "Hey man, I don't think this is right."
So
Now-
so Hitler
See
killed.
you later.
Okay, yeah.
He's gone. That's how I took it.
Yeah, how like the people who dissent, they're they're forgotten about or dispensed of. The second one, the river in Texas, and then he says, and I think that's obviously immigration. I think he's talking about and how
Oh yeah.
like no one crosses it to freedom. No one pans for gold. Like it's so publicized. Like they're crossing the rivers and we got to do this and that. Like, but I think like there's bodies always found in. I think what is that, Rio Grande?
The Rio Grande.
Yeah, the Rio Grande.
There's always like bodies found in there. Like,
Well-
it's been this like highly, like it's weird. Like no one talks about the fucking dead bodies. And he has actually a lyric in his first album. It's in the grain of the wood. It's in something sand. It's in the body bags along the Rio Grande. It's like unknown. He's talked about it before.
Well, an interesting thing is that there were no bodies during the Obama administration, but then when Trump took office, all of a sudden there was lots of dead bodies in the Rio Grande. I think that's kind of how it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there are still body bags, and there's always been body bags.
But also the cartel controls a lot of the south of that river,
sure.
where they throw a lot of bodies.
Sure, but
into
he's
that
talking
river,
about people trying to cross and dying.
Yeah,
trying to cross
but
the river, basically.
But you could hide it's used for other things too.
Sure.
Yeah. That first part, if that's what it is, with the guy trying to like blow the whistle on like killing Jew, whatever, like,
Yeah.
and then he's gone. I mean, that's how that happened. I mean, it's almost like
Yeah.
the.
Well, that's
I don't know
why-
if it's the same as the Swallows thing from the beginning, where they all go. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just kind of a followers kind of like. Hey, I don't think
Right.
this is cool, but whatever. Everybody seemed to go along with it, so I guess it's fine. You know.
Well, then he says, but now he's gone like whispers.
Right.
So they fucking got
Right,
rid of him.
yes.
They fucking killed him.
Right.
I like
So then-
the lyric "Gone like rain." It
Like it just disappears.
Mm.
It goes away.
yeah. Once it hits the ground, like it's no longer rain.
Yeah.
It's-
The builder refused. Gone like the stone. The builder refused.
Interesting. line.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it.
It's like the builder didn't
Or just
need
like-
the stone, so he crushed it down into rubble.
Mhm.
Or it was no longer a stone.
Gone and overdue. What's the significance of that line?
Maybe it's about library books.
Very interesting.
Or what year was this? Did they still have Blockbuster at the time? I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe.
Be Kind, Rewind. Am I right?
Yeah. The Iron Wheel was my favorite song, I think, on the record.
Yeah, I love that line. Those fuckers write it too.
Well,
it gives you like we all have some kind of power. Like just because they're the people spinning the wheel right now, it gives you hope to like basically gain some kind of leverage. Basically.
No one makes it out alive, man.
Yep.
You can't beat the Iron Wheel.
The opening line made me laugh. Like, sometimes they'll tell you to just sit still when you know it's time to run. Like, I just picture, like, no, just sit there. It's fine. Like, are you sure? Like, I think I should run.
TV preacher rides the wheel as he leads the flock astray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the line right after that. The Lady Justice rides the wheel, but her balance is unsure because the truth lies in pieces scattered on the newsroom floor.
Hard.
Yeah.
So like
That's probably
Yeah.
my favorite line in the whole album, easily.
Yeah.
Because there's so much truth. It's so relevant to today's
because
politics.
the media could sway the court,
Sure.
public opinion.
And it's not necessarily that the media is lying to you. It's just that it's
They're
in
just not giving
it's
you all
in
the
pieces.
facts.
It's not the whole truth.
Right.
Because they got to fit it in
And isn't that
2-minute news clip.
I
or
always
whatever.
hated that. Like, this is why my dad's a lawyer, and he won't like me saying this, but it's always like I've disliked lawyers.
Ugh.
And I've disliked the whole justice system because when you take, like, a vow and you say, like you hear how they question people, and the questions are formulated so that the what do you call it, the defendant or whoever is
Tell the
testifying
story that
only
you wanna
tells
tell.
the narrative that they want to portray, right? But you take an oath to tell the whole truth. And yet if you talk, the lawyer will cut you off and the judge will tell you to shut up and let the lawyer
Yeah.
lead.
Like,
When
I
you
think
took the vow to tell the whole truth, like, no, dude, I'm telling everything. I'm not telling just what you want me to say. Like, this is also relevant to what you're asking me. You know what I mean? And I think that's an actual, like, legitimate systematic flaw. I really do. in the justice
Absolutely.
system and the way the courts, like if there's ever like a murder case or something like important like this, where like the entire truth matters, like you shouldn't be allowed to lead. Like they say, that's an objection, leading the witness, but like it happens regardless. It's just unless it's
leading them
overtly
to what
like
you're gonna
obvious.
say.
Yeah.
It's inherently like intimidating.
Yeah.
And all that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they like
the context of their questioning.
yeah.
It's like I know what I want you to say. I know what I want them to hear, so I need to get you to say it.
Right.
So these are
Right.
the questions that I'm going to get to have you say.
Right.
Answer. Yeah, it is kind of goofy. And then with news, like they're all vying for views.
Yes.
So,
Ratings, yeah.
Yeah. And
So the
ratings.
truth, you can pull something like they're so at each other's throats, but there's bits of truth,
Right. Oh, absolutely.
and a lot of at what everyone's
It's like
saying.
we want to be the first one to jump to this conclusion and be right, and then everybody, look at all their views, so we need to jump to that conclusion too to compete with it.
Right.
It's like, well, or you don't. Or people
Just
should be
remember,
smarter
those who
than-
spin the wheel, those fuckers ride it too. Mm-hmm. A great line. So, what were your overall thoughts then? You said it was a cohesive, recurring
Yeah.
themes.
Yeah, it'd be similar to like if I had the whole track listing written out, it's kind of like what I did with the Insomnium record that Kyle brought. Is like the songs were hyperlinked. Like, okay, this song kind of goes to that song. This
Yeah,
song.
I
That'd be
actually
interesting
remember that
to-
distinctively. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to go through and do it this one. Yeah, it is the Fabled City is a good name for it. Like the first song. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just he kind of had the same message throughout.
I
I thought Rise to Power was a good way to finish it too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to every one of these songs again and enjoy it.
Even Midnight in the City of Destruction.
I will even listen to
Okay.
City Destruction.
I think there's significance to what he's doing too. There, like the saying "la la la,"
Oh, of course.
like
I mean, it
has
was-
significance.
yes, of
Like the
course.
world goes on
Well,
while all this shit's happening. Like that. That's actually like that's why people use that.
Yeah.
When you say like, especially in folk music, like political music, when someone's like "la la la" or the what do they call it, the whoop-de-doo or like
Yeah.
status quo. That's what that means.
It's just it's meaningless.
La,
It's
la,
just
la,
like,
la,
like
la,
the same thing.
I've never been a fan of it though, because like he's a talented enough songwriter to not do that.
Well, would you say
To
that
me, it's
maybe-
just filler. It's filler in the song.
Yeah, but I mean, it's purposeful. Like it's not.
But exactly. Like you could do so much more, but
You could say so much more.
But he talked about that song and the point. I remember watching a YouTube video and he says how much Hurricane Katrina like was a natural catastrophe that was made into a man-made catastrophe. So la la la, like that's how that kind of ties in.
It's like the same old story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that made that la 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 made his point. He could have written lyrics and said more, but that was more the point he was trying to get across.
That's his message.
is-
Like
yes.
that's a certain message he's trying to send.
right.
I would agree with you, Joe, if I didn't listen. That was the first and only song I've listened from him. However, going through this and seeing how great of a lyricist he is, and trying to build that mood and trying to like, I see that it's purposeful and very much so purposeful.
Yeah, and it's not like he uses it throughout the album.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
he just uses
right.
it for that one song, so it doesn't bother me that much.
Right.
But
Oh, and by the way, it was the Lemon Pipers that sang, "Hey, hey, hey."
Oh, okay.
Goodbye.
Okay.
It's not the Temptations.
There we go. There we
I don't
go.
even think the Lemon Pipers are a African American group. Whereas
I don't know.
I have no idea.
that's the first time I ever heard of them.
I have no idea. It's kind of like the Baja Man situation. That's the only song I know from them, so I'm not sure. Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm a huge Joe. I mean, you're a fan of it, generally speaking, or I mean, obviously you didn't like the
Better
couple, but
better than what I thought. I thought all the songs were gonna sound like the Fabled City and
Okay.
Rise
Okay.
to Power. I thought that was gonna be the
Yeah.
tone of the entire album.
Yeah.
But
It had
there
some
was
energy.
like Irish folk kind of songs and like indie kind of songs and like just different like
I'm gonna get my
styles of,
hands
like,
on
folk
One Man
music.
Revolution, and we'll do a follow up because
So, yeah, not bad.
I think I would. That you got a response from this, and this isn't the one like I brought. I think if you really like that Irish folk element, and like, it gets real folky in One Man Revolution. Like, and like you said, you don't like that like tone, that dark tone.
Yeah, like that Tim Burton
and,
tone.
dude,
Yeah.
in One Man Revolution, like he's like mic check, hoo hoo, except he's got like a real low voice, so it takes you off guard.
yeah.
It really does, and it's like very folky, more upbeat, and I think it's worth. And also, I would say lyrically superior, I guess, to this album. So it's something I'll save up for, and I'll try to get my hands on.
Do you think superior? Do you think the lyrics are like more accessible on that one, or is it
Less cryptic.
okay? Yeah, that's what I mean.
Less cryptic.
A lot of these songs, especially on side A, a lot of them were very.
Well, I don't know.
Cryptic.
I don't know. It's just, to me, there's more. I can't explain it. We'll have to listen to it. It's hard.
But that's the thing about lyrics too. I mean, it's like there's still songs I'll listen to today, like Warren Zevon songs that like all of a sudden a lyrical hit me differently. Like, I didn't ever think
That
of
happens
that way
to
or
me
whatever.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I listen to a lot of music. That happens to me at least like once a month. Like just discovering something new about a song, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
New lyric, new meaning behind the lyric.
Okay, so next week, the return of Kyle.
Yes.
As far as the choice, I think the last one was Insomnium, I believe.
I believe it was.
It was.
Insomnium. Many moons ago.
Do you have any ideas for next week?
Yes. I really want to bring Twilight Orchestra. However, I don't know if it would be appreciated for a single listen through. That and it's really fucking long. However, most of the songs I believe are instrumentals of the song. Like it's just here's all the bonus instrumentals of all the songs that you just listened to.
Okay.
Or a Demons and Wizards album because they just re-released them and the album art is fucking boss.
Oh, remastered. And
Yeah, remastered.
Sick.
The album art is really fucking boss. The songs are even more boss. So much boss is being had in Demons and Wizards. So it's between those two.
All right.
All right, that wraps it up. Thank you for listening to the Record Night podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. If you have suggestions for an album you think we should listen to, please leave a comment below. Or if you're interested in reaching out to the podcast, you can do so at recordnightpodcast@gmail.com. For Jake, Joe, and Kyle, I'm Collin. Once again, thank you for listening.
Jake makes me so fucking mad. I can't stand it.